Yeah, welcome back to Tribal Council Talk, unofficial Survivor podcast brought to you by the amazing folks at KMOV, the CBS in St. Louis. My name is John O'Sullivan, former Channel 4 producer and Survivor superfan, joined by the amazing Tasha Fox, two-time Survivor contestant, and just one of my favorite people. Welcome to the penultimate episode of the season 50 for Tribal Council Talk.
Penultimate episode.
Inconceivable.
How do you spell that?
I knew I spelled it correctly multiple times when I typed it.
Me too. I'm like, come on.
But yeah, my first thought was, the Princess Bride.
Yes.
Away. I do not think you keep saying that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. But it didn't really impact the actual. We'll get to that later. But I'm like, why?
Yep.
It was inconceivable why there was inconceivable.
Inconceivable.
So coming out, like post-tribal, we had the Ozzy reaction.
Yes.
Which was much more than the Emily
oh
reaction.
Oh my gosh, I know, right? Oh.
But my thought was, Rizzo could have sold the move by if he would have, I know this is going backwards, but if he would have saved Ozzy, he could have claimed that as his move. Like, I saved Ozzy, I moved this forward.
Yes.
This is how we got to the end. Without me, it wouldn't have happened. And
100%. He didn't do it. And I wanted to ask you about that too. Is it just me, or Rizzo has no edit at all? He's been missing for the last 7 or 8 weeks?
I just think he's, as Audrey went on to talk, no one's going to vote for Rizzo.
No.
And no one from season 50 is going to want Rizzo to be the poster child of who won 50.
Exactly.
So it really reminds me of Xander in season 41, where he also had an idol, but there's even no one's really worried about it. So why are we even talking about it?
Exactly. Yeah. The Rizzo, I haven't really cared for him since the beginning, and what he did to Ozzy, I'm just like, I don't know.
But you mean Cirie did, take and buy his explanation, and even went off on Ozzy, like Cirie did.
Yes.
Do you think she would have kept Rizzo around as long as she did if she would have seen Rizzo's season, or does everyone just see him as this little puppy?
I think everyone sees him as a little puppy. At some point Cirie was on the bottom, and he kind of gave her a lifeline too. So I don't know. I think she would have worked with him regardless, but I just feel like, I don't know. I just think that Cirie's fate hinged on what Rizzo did last week.
Rob Cisternino brought up a point when I was listening to the Know-It-Alls with Stephen, that he thinks that Cirie's Traitors win was influencing her Survivor play by keeping around people that she could manipulate.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It was an effective strategy on Traitors, and so it was working well, but apparently Rizzo has his own mind.
Shockingly enough.
Shockingly. But I thought it was interesting when they came back to camp from Tribal, everyone agreed that the first vote off was good, right? But then when the second group came in without Ozzy, I thought Cirie handled it well, but she was devastated.
Oh, yeah. And I really thought that her path, the only way that her path forward would have been was to keep Devins. And I think she was so angry with him that there was no way that was going to happen.
No way.
Because I think only way that she would have survived this week's episode is if she kept Devins one more vote.
One more vote.
To have that lightning rod out in front of her.
100%. Yeah,
that was disappointing.
Yeah.
So the end, while we're still in night vision.
Yes.
Aubrey says she sat next to the wrong people in Co-Wrong. And I think that, not knowing at the time, that really set up this whole episode.
Yes, it did.
And you can see,
yes, it did.
This is how she wants to move forward. And she's being much more strategic than she was before.
Yeah, she peaked at the right time in this season. It looked like at the beginning she was just going to be a fail, but she got that thing together, and now really the wind is at her back. If she can hang on to it, I could see Aubrey at the end.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Coming back, before Rick goes on his idol hunt, did you have anything else?
Nope.
All right. I really thought the first half of the episode just kind of went quickly. It was almost like we knew what was going to happen.
Yes, very
I didn't
fast.
even have, before the challenge, the only thing that really was Rick getting up, idol hunting. It was entertaining having Jonathan as his shadow.
Yes. Or even, too, I thought Devins tried to put a target on Jonathan's back by giving him the credit.
You went big game hunting.
And you could see Aubrey so I thought that was smart of Devin to at least try to stir the pot as much as he can. But if you can't stir the pot, result to finding an idol.
And I'm just now having to wonder, are there any idols there at all? I'm just like, was it only the Boomerang idols and then the Mr. Beast idol, and that's it?
Yeah, I hope so. Like, I hope they can just play it out, like, old school Survivor style. Not all these idols that are hanging out there.
No, I just feel like Rick would have found an idol.
100%. Yeah. Well, Jonathan was on babysitting duty, so.
So my question would be like, I wouldn't even, like, some people just give up. Like, my thought would be, if you have a babysitter,
yes,
it was like, and you find it, my thought would be like, okay, I'm just gonna keep looking. Like, I know it'd be tough to like stuff it in there, but if you keep looking, do people think that you haven't found it yet?
Oh yeah, I definitely think you can find it with a babysitter and still be stealth. But like Devin said, the islands are huge. The parameter is huge. So really the likelihood of finding an idol without a clue is very difficult unless the gods are on your side.
Right. Well, the gods were not. The odds and the gods were not in his favor.
Exactly.
Anything before the challenge?
Nope.
All right. So they made a change to it's a bit tipsy.
Yes.
Bringing it back to its original hardness.
Yes.
If you remember in 49, it was wrapped around, and like no one toppled in 49. So they went back to
the OG tipsy.
And you could tell that everyone was feeling it, but Joe's method, stayed true.
Yeah, and I noticed too, remember, I think we talked about last week, like there is kind of like a cheat code in every challenge. And if you noticed on the platform, there was a square. And mentally, you're like, okay, I'm going to put my block in the middle of that square. But the square was kind of towards the end of the platform. So if you put it in the middle of that block, there's no way you can balance. But I noticed that Joe placed his blocks at the end of the square. I know it's probably hard for me to articulate that, but it was more towards the middle of the platform versus the center of the square that was painted on the platform.
So getting a better center of gravity.
Okay. But yeah, but mentally you see a square, you're like, I want to put it in the middle of the square. But the square wasn't centered on the platform. So I'm like, he's got it.
Cheat code.
Joe,
some people use the mouth method of holding the blocks.
Yes.
Joe didn't.
No.
I think I would rather. I have a huge mouth, literally and figuratively. I think I would have gone with the mouth because I'd be like, if you're doing this and having to hold your chin down,
I agree.
I think that would be harder.
I totally agree. I think I would have done the mouth method. Yeah.
And we did notice that there was one time where, the people who spelled it in reverse to go backward.
Yes.
Because when Suri was very close to the end, she grabbed the wrong block.
She did.
So I think I'd definitely spell it out like they did in reverse.
Yes. Now, what strategy would you have gone with? Speed, like Aubrey and Tiffany, so then you can drop and rebuild quickly, or go with Joe's strategy, which is snail pace, but steady?
I think it would have driven my crazy brain crazy, but I think I would have gone with the Joe method.
Yeah.
Just because
Agreed.
You saw Devin's rushing, and spill, spill.
Yeah. Slow and steady.
Slow and steady, but it would kill me.
I know.
Nonstop watching it.
Right.
But, hey, Joe's won twice.
Exactly.
I'm going to go with Joe's method.
But then you're hearing Jeff like, oh, so-and-so's almost there. For Joe to tune out what Jeff was saying, the play-by-play, for people that are appearing to be about to win, he never faulted.
My thing is you see so many of these where it takes one little thing and you're rushing that much and everything just goes toppling.
Yep.
So I think I'd rather just slow and steady.
Slow and steady.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
It's a tough challenge.
As the tortoise beat the hare. Come on.
Yep.
But what did you think about his choices of taking Suri and Rizzo?
I thought it was a good choice. Those are hard decisions because people are taking it personally. You're more so even thinking about, who am I leaving at camp while I'm enjoying this meal? Like, did I leave the right 4 people? But I thought he made a wise decision. But of course, Tiffany was upset.
There was a lot of food anger in the first half of the episode.
Anger. Yeah. But I mean, as long as you have a explanation, may not be a good explanation, but I thought he explained it well.
Yeah, and there was a secret scene way back in the beginning of the season of Joe and Rizzo bonding because of Rizzo's brother who has autism and really talking about that. So, I think they had a connection that we didn't really see because it's not really impacting the plot. But
right.
It's there.
It's there.
But then Tiff in her food anger, brings up getting rid of Rizzo, and my thought was, is this going to be the same thing that happens when people brought up Ozzy's name?
Right.
Apparently not, but you could tell that that's starting to get there, which then leads into how it was set up at the beginning of the episode of Aubrey really wanting to play strategic of who she's sitting next to.
Yes.
There
were a lot of names being thrown around.
There were. I wanted to ask you about, like Aubrey and Rick were talking about how Rizzo would take up a seat.
Yes.
And for the longest time, I always thought, okay, well, that should be a strategy of like not having someone just bring along a no vote finalist.
Right, a goat, yeah.
But then it was like, but everyone's thinking like, well, but if I take them,
my chances increase.
Yeah. So I think that's only works in like an honor and integrity type alliance where like, hey, they're going to take up a seat from someone who's worthy.
Exactly. But then it's like the survivor in you want to beat the best. If you're sitting next to goats, you're like, did you really play an honorable survivor game? But is it about making it like the best season ever with all of these amazing players at the end? Or is it about you winning $2 million?
Yeah, I think my wife would have gone like, you're winning the money. I don't care who you're
bring the goats.
Yes.
Yes. But there aren't a lot of goats in the game. I would say Rizzo is probably...
I just think with Joe and how the edit has been, and people have been like, we have to babysit Joe. We have to talk him through everything. Like, I just think whoever goes to the end, if they bring Joe and Rizzo, they win.
They win, yeah. So, okay. Oh, interesting. I was thinking maybe Jonathan's a GOAT as well.
I just think he's seen, and I was thinking of this as I drove here, because I've been so obsessed with the rerun episode before the season started, and how Aubrey and Jonathan didn't get any rerun episodes. But if you think about it, all the people who had the rerun episodes didn't change as much as they said they were going to change.
True.
So like Ozzy's changed a little bit, but not that much. Coach turned into full coach.
Yes.
But we didn't see a rerun of Aubrey or Jonathan.
Yeah.
Jonathan only had the one season, but he played an entirely different game than he is now. So it really wouldn't have been worth much to see how he played 42 because he's a totally different player.
Right.
And rewatching the last two seasons that Aubrey was on, she didn't play as great of a game as she did in Go Wrong.
Right.
So I'm like, did they not show both of them because they completely changed their games around? And I think that was the reason.
That's interesting. Do you think Jonathan has much of a resume?
I think he could be considered a threat. I think he's won a challenge. He totally impacted the final 9 vote. I think if he doesn't do that, like Ozzy doesn't go home. But I mean, I think both of them will want to target Tiff.
Right.
Come the next.
Yeah. I just see Jonathan at the end. I doubt Stephanie would care for him. I doubt Ozzy would care for him.
Well, the mayor of Ponderosa definitely will not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when I say he's a GOAT, not that he didn't change or didn't play his game, the money goes to the person that the jurors feel like they want to vote for. And you don't know, are they not voting for you because they don't like you? Or are they voting for you because they respected how you played the game? So it just depends. Is it a bitter jury? That's the question.
I think there would be more bitterness on the jury towards Jonathan.
Agreed.
Than there will be. I don't think anyone has any bitterness towards Aubrey.
Oh, no.
Even Suri giving her a huge hug at the end.
Exactly. So if Aubrey sat next to Jonathan and Rizzo, she's a winner.
Yeah. I think the only way that Jonathan wins is if he's sitting next to Joe and Rizzo and he gets rid of Tiffany and Aubrey.
Exactly. Tiffany sitting next to anybody else, she'll win.
No, everyone loves her. Even going back to the merge vote where everyone's like, I don't want to write her name down. I don't want to write her name down. And then she's won 3 immunity challenges.
Exactly.
We're so smart.
We are smart. But Tiffany and Aubrey are both on my fantasy team.
There you go.
Can I be super smart?
Yeah, you can. She can win another challenge, too. I think the only other really funny part before the first tribal was the hammock breaking.
Oh, that hammock is like, y'all have put me through too much stress.
Yeah.
All of these meetings, all of these strategy sessions, even the hammock is like, I'm done.
Yeah. It's like a therapist ready to say that she doesn't take your insurance anymore.
Right. Well, I thought it was interesting that Aubrey started targeting Tiffany,
Well, I think, as she said, like, she needs to sit next to the right people. And she said, like, Tiffany is Michelle 2.0. Everyone likes her. She hasn't pissed anybody off. It was like she has allies on the jury. Like, I think Dee would totally advocate for Tiffany.
Yeah.
So I think Aubrey and Jonathan have to, and it's going to be easier because everyone's target was on her anyway.
Yes,
this last count.
exactly.
So I think they have to get rid of Tiff
Tiffany's
in order
go
to make
next.
it to the end.
Yep, agreed.
And again, they're with the first tribal with Rick. My wife was like getting ready to be done, and I'm like, no, pause. I'm like, no, there's a whole other half of the episode.
Whole other situation.
I just think this was an obvious one. I don't think anyone was shocked.
No.
I really don't think. They had to. I felt like they kind of had to fill up the tribal council with the food anger talk.
Yes.
In order to get it out, but I think he had a lovely message. I thought that was really poignant.
I agree.
My wife was like, "Let's go to Fiji."
Yeah. And clearly Rizzo is very comfortable because he did not play that idol.
But again, it's the same thing of like why. No one even really thinks that he they don't consider him a threat.
No.
So why would he even need to?
Would he even need to?
My boys were both hoping that he hit the shot in the dark, but I just didn't. I think he had a better 50-50 with the Mr. Beast coin than he did with the 1 and 6.
Exactly.
But I love Rick. I was sorry to see him go.
Me too.
I think if Sri kept him around, maybe she would have gone one more vote.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's about it.
Sorry, Devins.
You're entertaining, and I hope you can make it back onto another reality show. Maybe you could be on The Traitors.
Yes.
Coming back after Tribal, Aubrey, it's still the whole narrative of thinking who does she want to sit next to. She wants to sit next to Rizzo. She does not want to sit next to Tiffany.
Mm-mm. I agree.
And it seemed like everyone was on board except Rizzo the Rat.
Yes.
Which then put me in mind of the Muppets, Rizzo the Rat. Which I love from A Muppet Christmas Carol. Thank you, Rizzo the Rat. But again, he goes and tells Suri. Everyone tells Suri everything.
They do.
But she doesn't blabber mouth like Emily did.
No. Mm-mm.
I don't know.
Yeah, which I thought it put him in as we could see later, it kind of affected what he could do because he's like, I can't tell people that I told Suri. So I thought that was very wise of Suri to put it on
Aubrey. Yeah. I mean, that was her only play. I just thought it was hysterical that, she said, you have a rat, and Rizzo called himself the rat.
The rat.
All right. So going into that immunity challenge,
yes.
Why Inconceivable? I mean, every other time it's something that has to do with Survivor at least, or something that Jeff says.
Yes.
My thought, every time I see one of these challenges, okay, if when you're playing, listen to what Jeff is saying because he's going to say the word, or he's going to give a clue.
Yes.
But that didn't happen at all.
I know. It was completely random.
It was inconceivable.
I was like, where did this come from, Jeff? But what was interesting, though, is Joe's like, he says it immediately. Is this inconceivable?
Right. But then
and then just leaves it.
Yeah. But it doesn't know how to spell it. I before E, except after C. Come on.
I know.
Yeah. But at least, he can feel better about looking at that than Jonathan not knowing how to spell it either.
Yeah, they're both. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know either.
But that was the thing of Aubrey just trying to help the other people as opposed to doing it herself.
I didn't understand that.
Did she think okay, this is too wide. I can't do it?
Possibly,
but I think then she was kicking herself later for not even trying.
Yeah, that's true. Well, she must not have tried too hard because one side of the puzzle was completely wrong. If she was really vested and not doing her own puzzle, she really should have got in there and hey, I'll look at this side and and go for it. But I understand that the vote was supposed to be on Tiffany to keep her from winning, but they should have tried harder.
Right, all of them.
All of them.
I am glad that Jeff asked her about what did you think about everyone working against you, and giving her explanation because every other time there's been a group working against one person, that person is ugh, or it does, and she was just laser focused.
Right. I'm glad she didn't know that they were all doing that because that could have definitely maybe made her lose focus a little. She's like, I didn't even hear it. Mm-mm. I'm like, good.
Yeah, I mean that was a key thing with, like you said, with Joe.
Yes.
In the first one and this. So it's try to zone everybody out.
Zone out. Agreed.
I think this is another thing for her resume. That's 3 immunity wins. You look at all of these immunity challenge threats on this season. We got nothing from a lot of them.
No.
I mean, look, the Jungle Boy didn't even really do anything.
No, he didn't.
And Tiff steps up with a lot.
Yes, she did.
All right. Which takes us to the fan vote announcement.
Okay.
What were your initial thoughts?
What was the fan vote?
Just that Jeff is saying that for this time, did you see the commercial break where it was this season, there's going to be a fan vote for a fan favorite award. We're bringing back the Sia
no,
money.
I didn't see that.
Okay, so Sia money, he comes out, he's on the usual time when you would see Jeff coming out and say, apply to be on Survivor. But it's him on the beach, and he's saying, in the hands of the fans, Sia is a huge fan, and for over all these times, she's given out $1 million.
Okay.
It was like, now it's up to you. Go to this and vote for your fan favorite. My thing is, after season 45, they said, we're not doing any Sia money anymore.
Okay, yeah.
And now, we're bringing it back. The hands of the fans. Back. Whoever you all vote for is gonna win money. They didn't say how much.
Okay.
But they shut it down after 45 with no explanation. It's like there's not going to be any more thing. The first thing that hit me when we get back to, and this is jumping ahead to the tribal council, is when we get there, I'm like, Cerie's going home. They only did the fan vote because everyone's going to vote for Cirie.
Oh, wow.
Which is just my thought. I don't know if that's true or not, but
makes sense. Yeah. No, I could concur with that.
Because again, jumping ahead, but we all know that she is out. Like Jeff says, when her torch is getting stuff, every Survivor fan loves you.
Yes. Okay. And anytime Cirie plays Survivor, the people are invested.
Right.
So I think this is a great way for Survivor to pay her back.
And he did talk about that Sia has given $1 million. And you have to go all the way back to season 8.
Yes.
With All Stars, where Rupert won the fan vote.
Yes.
Was a Survivor $1 million winner.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if that's going to be a part of the live finale.
Well, I honestly thought the Sia fan favorite award was taken away because maybe she wasn't selling as many records. So kudos that she's back. Maybe she's promoting a new album.
Either way.
But $1 million might be a stretch unless Survivor is supplementing the prize money for Cirie, which I'm here for.
Yeah, I could. I mean, that would be a fun, because we didn't get as. It seemed like the exit of Ozzy was a much bigger deal than the exit of Cirie, and I know that she acted differently.
Yes.
But it's almost like like one of the greats of Survivor didn't really get their due.
Right.
So maybe it's still coming.
Right. I think that is a great assessment. I could see that.
All right.
Yeah. The version of Survivor that I watch, it's the Paramount Plus, so they skip all of the extra. Yes.
Well, check out the vote, everyone.
Okay.
Vote for your fan favorite.
Yes.
I will use multiple email addresses, but definitely voting one for Cirie.
Go Cirie.
I thought Cirie did what she could to throw the rat on Aubrey.
Yep.
I mean, but she clocks it right away, explaining to Tiff, no, it's me.
It's me.
They're coming for me.
Yeah.
And the fact that Tiffany didn't realize that, I think, is a little shocking.
Yeah, I think she knew.
Okay. Do you think she was just playing her?
Yeah, I believe they were friends, but Tiffany, she's trying to win the money. So
you're getting down to it.
Yes, exactly. And you want Cirie's vote if she's going home, so you want to pretend like, oh my gosh, seriously? Oh no, that's not going to happen if I can. Yeah,
So I thought she did what she could to throw the rat.
Yes.
The only question I had is, does it work on Joe if Joe doesn't go to talk to Aubrey about it? And does the only reason that Joe goes to talk to Aubrey about it is because how he got screwed over in 48 by Kyle and Camilla by not checking on their Shaheen story?
Yes. I think you're right. Yeah, he had to go.
Because he was like that was his rerun episode.
Yes.
And it's like he has to double check.
You have to verify.
Right.
You have to at this point in the game with these beasts, verify everything.
Yeah. Don't trust and verify.
Yes.
Other than that, I think it was.
Yeah,
I think this was a straightforward. I loved the episode. I was sorry to see them go.
Yes.
But I think both of the tribals were pretty straightforward.
I agree. What do you think about the jury? What could you tell, how they're feeling, or?
I really think it's as you brought up. I think it's going to come down to whoever brings Joe and Rizzo with them.
Yes.
Wins.
Yeah.
And I think both Aubrey and Jonathan will agree that the biggest threat coming back is Tiffany, and will do whatever they can to get out Tiffany.
Yes.
And then if Tiffany wins, then Aubrey will do whatever she can to get out Jonathan.
Yep.
And I'm not sure what Jonathan's plan would be.
Yeah, who would Jonathan take?
I don't know, because if Rizzo's not an idiot, he will play his idol just in case. But then it all comes down to, and they still don't know what's going to happen at the Final Four.
Right.
If there's going to be
right.
fire making
So we
or
have
not.
fan votes, Jeff said, for fire making.
And the Final Four challenge.
The Final Four challenge, and then whether or not the live.
We know that it's going to be the live show. They just don't know.
They didn't know. Yeah.
So, the Final Four challenge is either going to be don't let your balls drop. So that's the one where you're doing the puzzle, and that's like Plinko, the coming down.
Okay, yeah.
A huge obstacle course with a puzzle at the end, or some motion.
Okay.
So I think, I think the huge obstacle course would probably benefit more Jonathan, Joe, maybe a Tiffany.
Yes.
And then the balls or the Samotion would really more balance the playing field. But I don't know how Jonathan would do at either of those. So I really think it depends on what the challenge is.
It depends on the challenge. Yeah.
And then we don't know about, if it's fire making or not.
Yes. Ooh, I want to see some fire making. Let's do it.
No matter what, it was like the only reason why I think they're all assuming that fire making will still happen. So the only reason why I would want to see it not happen is to see the reactions of like, oh crap, like what are we going to do now?
Oh yeah.
Because then it's like, will any of them try to do? Would anyone do a tie vote? Would they not? Because there's no way that those people would go to rock.
No. Oh no.
And I can't wait to see the reaction to the live reunion show. I think that'll be exciting. It'll be exciting to see it.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So
really,
one more week.
There's one more week, and it's like I said, the penultimate episode. What's not over yet is our Survivor fantasy teams, and it's been bravo to Tasha for coming back. We lose some Survivor greats, but right now Team Tasha has 3 players left of Joe, Tiffany, and Aubrey.
Okay.
And Team John only has Jonathan and Rizzo, and we are tied exactly at 141 points apiece.
Wow. Joe and Tiffany came through for me last night.
That they did. You have more of a couple challenge threats, so it'll be who wins. That's the other thing. Like, will there be just a voted Final Four? Will there be another immunity? I don't know. So it all comes down to who's going to win the immunity, and then you get bonus points for making the Final Four, the final tribal, and then 6 points to the winner. So really, it could still go either way, but only if, I think Jonathan and Rizzo have to make it to the finals for me to win. Otherwise, I think you would win.
Oh my gosh. Well,
and then it's just bragging rights.
Yeah, we both have a couple, a goat on our team, so
that's true.
We both could end up
not
in
the greatest
final
of all
3.
time. But
no.
I think I don't think John. Well, one, I don't think Joe or Rizzo gets any votes.
No.
I think Jonathan will get some votes, but not win.
Yes.
And I think Jonathan's only chance of winning is taking Joe and Rizzo.
Yes.
And if Tiffany or Aubrey make it, they get the majority of votes.
Yep.
We're so smart. We've already done it. Why even watch it?
Yes, it's done. It's in the books.
So any final thoughts, or just excited for one more week?
I'm excited for one more week. I don't know what I'm going to do post-Survivor.
Well, I'm going to have to go back and watch Tasha's old seasons and her season on the challenge. And then just get excited for traders coming back and all sorts of reality competition TV.
Nice.
But thank you for listening to the penultimate episode of Tribal Council Talk for Season 50, and we will be back next week. Enjoy the finale.
Bye.